Welcome to U.S. Immigration TV. I'm Michael Gurfinkel. Well, the news media outlet, The Independent, recently reported that a British backpacker hiking near the Canadian border was detained by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, for 19 days before being led onto a plane in chains and deported back to the UK. Well, what was her crime? On a previous visit, she stayed with a family and did household chores, which Homeland Security considered to be work and therefore a violation of her visitor visa, resulting in the visa being canceled and her being sent back. Now, according to the report, the backpacker had been allowed into the U.S. on January 7, 2025 without any issue. She got in here. She was backpacking or hiking across North America when she was detained while attempting to cross into the state of Washington after having entered into Canada. You know, she's up there, crosses in, comes back. Well, under questioning about her past visits and future plans, she told Customs and Border Protection that she was planning to stay with a family where she would do some domestic or household chores in exchange for them providing accommodations. In other words, if I sleep here, I'll help clean around the house. And she said that she had done that sort of thing with this couple on a previous visit. However, the Department of Homeland Security, or DHS, considered household chores as work, which required a working visa instead of a tourist visa. And as you know, working on a tourist visa is prohibited. But I mean, who would have thought household chores in a house would be considered work? Well, since she did those household chores, which was considered work, she was in violation of her visitor visa for having worked on that previous visit and was subject to detention and removal. Well, according to ICE, and I quote, all aliens in violation of U.S. immigration law may be subject to arrest, detention, and, if found removable by a final order, removable from the U.S. regardless of nationality. Now, in this case, this UK or British citizen's detention, and I quote, related to the violation of the terms and conditions of her admission. She worked on the tourist visa and therefore violated the terms of that visitor visa. Now, I've come across several cases of people who entered the U.S. as visitors and perhaps worked under the table for a few months, returned to their home country, and then come back into the U.S. a few months later to, I guess, again, work under the table. I mean, that is wrong. Working on a visitor visa is a violation of that visa. And so when some of these people come back to the U.S., they are grilled and questioned by U.S. Customs and Border Protection, CBP, at the airport. And somehow CBP is able to determine that they worked on a previous visit, either by checking their text messages of their phones, because remember, CBP is able to seize or take your phone, your computer, and check for messages there. So in this case, maybe they were checking text messages and they saw communications about the job awaiting them. They could have checked for bank deposits and looked like every 2 weeks they were making a deposit in the same amount. So as a result, when they were discovered to have worked on a previous visit, or maybe they even confessed to it, their visa was canceled and they were sent back to the Philippines, what we call airport to airport. In fact, I know of one case, to give you an idea of how strict Customs and Border Protection can be. A Filipina was visiting her sister in the U.S., and so while the sister was at work, this Filipina walked the sister's dogs. So the sister gave her like $100 pocket money. When this Filipina went back to the Philippines and came in like the following year on a tourist visa, she was grilled at the airport, and when she revealed she was given a few dollars to walk her sister's dogs, guess what? Her visitor visa was canceled and she was immediately returned to the Philippines, airport to airport. And canceling a person's visitor visa and returning them to their home country has been going on for some time. In this particular story, the British citizen, for me, it's unusual or it's new in the sense that DHS detained her for 19 days before sending her back to England, rather than just simply sending her out on the next flight out. But this should be a warning to people who think nothing of working on a visitor visa. Homeland Security is getting stricter, and they expect people to abide by the terms of their visas. Now, if you've had issues with CBP at the border or at the airport, or let's say you had your visa canceled and you were ordered returned to your home country, you may want to consult with any attorney of your choice who can evaluate your situation to determine if perhaps your name could be cleared or you could possibly be eligible for a waiver if you have another avenue to immigrate to the U.S. I hope you have found this video informative. For me, when I first saw it, I was shocked that doing household chores at a person's house could be grounds to be detained for 19 days. I mean, my goodness, I think about the times I invited over somebody's house for dinner, and I pick up the plate and take it to the kitchen and wash my dish. I guess if I was on a visitor visa, am I going to get deported? Who knows? We will continue posting videos which we believe, or I believe, will be informative and helpful to you. Therefore, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. I'm Michael Gurfinkel, and thank you for watching U.S. Immigration TV.